Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have David Fishman here joining us today from the Cadillac Travel Group, helping those all around the world travel to their most amazing destinations and making amazing memories. David, please introduce yourself to our listeners today.
Well, thank you for having me, Jill. I'm David Fishman, Cadillac Travel Group, based in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan.
You're based out of where?
Royal Oak, Michigan.
Perfect, but you're working with people worldwide, right? So tell us a little bit about the background of Cadillac Travel. Before we get started today, we'd love to find out more about you and, of course, how this all came to be with your passion for travel.
So, living in Michigan, well, first of all, yes, we can handle travel for anyone, anywhere in the world. Any place you are, we are here for you. Doesn't matter, any place on the globe. You can reach out to us and we can help you with your travel needs. I grew up in Michigan, and at one point in time, I decided to move out west to California, and I had a friend that would kept calling me from here and said, let's do this, let's do this. And he finally said, let's do travel. We'll take groups out all over the world. So I loaded up the truck. I moved from Beverly Hills, California to Beverly Hills, Michigan. And
really? How ironic.
Right.
Was that done purposely? How did that from Beverly Hills to Beverly Hills?
No, it's sort of ironic that that's the two areas that were right by each other that I was close to, and in California and right next to in Michigan. So the address was actually Beverly Hills, Michigan. So it's pretty funny. So I said, if I'm going to move back to Michigan with our lovely, beautiful winters, then I want to be able to get out of there as often as possible. So the allure of travel was great in that fashion. Plus, I've always loved travel and seeing the world and seeing different cultures and meeting different people. So the opportunity opened up, and I moved back and started it with a friend of mine. And 40 years later, we're still taking care of people and sending them all over the world.
In such a personal way, because you really have that value with customer service, right? Could you share what kind of sets you apart with the way your knowledge, and we're going to get into, by the way, in just a moment, why, traveling with a travel agent and why even it's important to have one. But tell me just about what would make your company unique in that sense.
Well, what I'd say that, everyone has to have their unique branding. And one of it is that we are the travel experts. We've been the media expert for the last 30 years. So whenever there's a question, virtually any place in the world, media will come to us and say, what's going on? How do we handle this and others? So they know that they're working with people that know what they're doing. Plus, we have 600 years of travel destination knowledge in our team here. That is an incredible amount of knowledge. And that's more boots on the ground. It's not just a YouTube video. It's not just just information of that's not a person being there. Plus, the people we work with are boots on the ground all over the world. You're working with people that are from that area that that they're going to be sending you to the right places, giving you that unique special experience. But the one secret sauce is the people in this office care. They do. They love what they do, and they care about people, and they want to create amazing experiences. They'll last a lifetime, because the best experiences you can have are your travel experiences. They're the pictures on your desk and on your phone. The majority of those are from your experiences, and that's what we help people create, those memorable experiences. We say we like to make the unknown unforgettable.
Got it. Well, let's talk about traveling using a travel agent to start. Go ahead.
Well, people, they'll come up to me consistently and say, you're a what? You're in what business? You still exist? I say, yeah, dinosaurs still roam the earth. The thing about it is the internet, first of all, the largest industry in the world that people don't realize, because it's the automobile industry. Oh, it's oil and gas. No, it isn't. It's travel and tourism.
Oh, wow.
It's always been the largest industry in the world, because every country, every city, every state, everyone has a tourist border, tourist component. They want people visiting their cities. They want them visiting their states or countries. So that if you start spreading out and start talking about hotels and tour operators and cruise lines, and it is massive. So the most sites on the internet are travel sites. The most. The second most search word on the internet is travel. Talk about information overload. After health is travel. It's like 19 billion times a year. It's
Wow.
insane that what the kind of numbers we're talking about. So what you have is, and I hate to use the terminology, but a lot of misinformation. As we have learned over time, the internet is now the new place to take advantage of people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a multitude of reasons why you should use a travel professional. One, I am a French model because it says so online. Misinformation. I can say whatever I want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. You can tell anyone anything you want to tell them. And for whatever reason, they think it's online, so it must be true. But that's not so true. I always say when you go to a website and you see a picture and you don't even see like a drawing of something, and they don't show you a hotel room or whatever it is, don't go there because you don't know what you're getting. So to have someone that has the knowledge that we're talking about and experience is very important because you're getting true information. That's first of all. Second of all, this is an interesting statistic. First of all, the most valuable thing that is out there in the world that you can't buy is time.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually sell you time because I save you time because the average individual spends 27 hours researching a 4-day vacation. The average individual goes to 10 different websites before they book something. So what also happens online is that they watch you. They know what you're doing.
Oh, and then the
So
ads and the spam pop up the
right.
next.
If you don't clear your cookies, as they say, then they know what you're looking at and they're going to follow you. And all of a sudden, something's going to pop up. Something's going to be there. They're going to draw you in. And then let's say you've been looking at airline travel and the ticket, you finally come to somewhere and they show it at $325. And now you click about 35 times putting all your information in, which by the way, they might make money per click. And so now they make all that money. And then they say, oh, it's not $325, it's $419. You've been online for 2 hours. You're going to buy it because you panic. And they know that. Little unknown things. Interesting statistic. Expedia, about 4 years ago, I was on a plane with a woman, actually longer than that, now that I think about it. She was on a plane with her. Turns out she was in charge of advertising media sales for Expedia. At the time, I said, oh, you own like 10 different websites, Orbitz, Travelocity, Book It, all those. She goes, no, we own 70. 70? By the way, the rest are owned by Priceline. They own Kayak and all the other ones. So there's only really two major players. So
I
she
didn't know
said,
Expedia owned all of that. I thought they were all separate entities. No.
nope, all under an umbrella. And she
Wow.
said to me this is really interesting. So by the end of 2017, this was in 2016, she says, we expect to make more money on advertising media sales than on travel.
Wow.
Wow. So what business are they in? Waste your time business. Just keep going to our websites and click, 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 because we make money with you clicking. We don't need you to buy anything.
Oh my goodness.
Very interesting information. It just blew my mind that I thought that the travel sites were there to help you. The travel sites are there to make money, whether you buy anything or not. Many of them, which is kind of interesting. So you have that situation as well, time wasting, which our time is so valuable these days. We're in fast food society and we want everything done quickly.
Sure is. Yeah.
So now let's say you have a problem when you're traveling. You can't reach anyone at Expedia and most websites, you have to email them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How well does that work for you when you're at a gate at the counter and the flight's canceled and you need help? You're on your honeymoon, you're at the hotel and there's a problem at the hotel. I could go on and on.
Wow.
The bottom line is I always say there's two places in life where you advocate, and that is at hospitals in health and while you're traveling. You need someone who's going to fix your problems. I would say you're on your honeymoon, you get there, you have a problem, you sit there and you go, David, I have this problem. I'm going to go have a pina colada and lay on the beach with my wife. And so you take care of it. But that's what we do. We make that experience about having a good experience and we fix the problems. That unfortunately travel can have its problems.
Yeah.
So that's another reason to use a travel professional, a live person that you can reach out and touch. Of course, you always hear those stories about spring break and they get there and they don't have it and it's a P.O. box or it's just a website. Another issue. And then, of course, the last thing, and it happens, and that is your information stolen or compromised. So when you give that information out online, that still, as much as people protect it, there's the last piece that can happen to you. So why use a travel professional and not go online? There's a number of reasons why. So that's my pitch to everyone in the world of why you should work with a human being and a travel professional instead of being stuck in the world of the World Wide Web, which can be a really scary place at times.
Wow. Wow, I just, because you're right. Today's day and age, it's all about going online, online, online. And I love that the analogy too, like we're dinosaurs, but no, but those ancient creatures, they have the best knowledge. Let's be
Yes.
honest. And, for people who are just like listening today and also saying, well, yeah, why should I be using a travel agent if everything's available to me online right now? But there are so many different benefits, let alone you've walked a lot of these places. I'm sure you've walked the walk of these hotels, of the towns to really know and to really say, oh, you have children. Well, I would suggest this area. There's a difference. You can't find that on any type of site. And there's reviews from people, a lot of them, everyone has their own opinions, but you also see an unbiased opinion when you go to know what someone would be looking for in a certain area. It's just such valuable knowledge that you have that I think outweighs everything. And I know we're going to talk more about leisure travel agents, corporate travel agents as well. But really, let's talk more about the importance of having a travel agent. Things go wrong, you can call, but also you get better deals too sometimes, right?
Absolutely. We're part of a group of, but one more thing that's really important. That's reviews. Let's talk about reviews for a second online. Okay. There's been stories. I know that there is something like 300,000 people in China that write reviews for companies. So who's writing these reviews? And by the way, if someone has something that goes wrong, they tend to this is an old statistic. They tell 8 people. If something goes right, they tell 3. So the people out there on Yelp and Google reviews are reviewing stuff and saying, oh, this is the worst. This is terrible. Da, da, da. Who are these people? Who's making those reviews? It's like, and by the way, do you have the same taste I have? I don't know. We haven't talked long enough to know if we have identical tastes in places. Really interesting story. I sent this couple to a hotel, Santa Pietro on the Amalfi Coast, one of the finest hotels in the world. Everyone I ever sent there comes back and says this is one of the greatest places they've ever been to. Okay. This couple comes back and I'm so excited. And I go, so how was it? And they said, it's the worst hotel I've ever been to. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How can that be? I've never heard that from anyone. It made me realize some people, you're never going to make them happy. But it's, there's not everything fits everyone perfectly. One of my favorite lines that I tell people is say, what size shoe do you wear? They go, what are you talking about? So what size shoe? Or a size 6. I go, well, you don't mind if I sell you a size 9. They go, what are you talking about? That's what the internet sells you. That's what they do. They want to try and give you something that doesn't fit you. You need someone who's going to ask the questions and find out what you love and what works for you. That's the beauty of working with a travel professional. That's the beauty of working with someone with the experience of being there. This year alone, I've been to 4 different continents, including Antarctica. Those experiences that I get to share with people and tell them about. So when they go there, they get to know what to expect and have this amazing experience. It's just invaluable. Invaluable.
I agree. And let's remind everyone at this time, David, tell us how we can reach you, share a website, social media, phone number, anything you'd like to share.
So you can find us at www.cadillactravel.com. You can also find us at Cadillac Travel on Facebook. You can join us and follow us and be a friend. As well as you can be a friend of David Fishman because I'm out there too and sharing my travel information and experiences with you. And you can call us either on 1-800-369-TRIP, 8747, or 248-358-5330. It's our local number. So there's many
Perfect.
ways to reach us, or info@cadillactravel.com, or you can always email me at david@cadillactravel.com.
Thank you
Always
so.
available too.
All right. What's next on tap? What else did you want to share with us today?
Well, what's important with working with travel professionals is making sure that you find someone. I say they're like hairdressers. Okay. You want someone that's going to listen to you, ask you the right questions as I was talking about, to make sure that they know what you like and
Mm-hmm.
match that up to you, whether it's whatever that budget is. Sometimes like my favorite thing is when people come to me and will say, well, I want to go someplace warm for a week. Okay. That narrows it down. So you got to ask the question. Sometimes they go, well, what type of hotels do you stay at? I don't know. Okay, well, how about this? When do you want to go? Let's
Yeah.
start there. So asking the questions and then finding out. Sometimes I say, okay, if you're not going to tell me and you don't know what your budget is and you don't know what type of hotels you stay at, well, where do you go to dinner? And people go, what are you, crazy? I go, yeah. Do you go to
Yeah.
Ruth Chris, Capital Grill?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go to Applebee's? Do you go to McDonald's? Where do you go to dinner? Because then I can figure out what budget, what is that area that's going to work? Luxury, ultra luxury,
Yeah.
moderate, superior type of properties. So you ask the questions, you find out what they like to do. They might say, yeah, I want to go to a beach, but they burn, they fry on the beach,
Yeah.
so they'd like to do other things. So really try and find someone that asks good questions,
Yeah.
that really wants to know what works for you. That's really important with working with a travel professional. And then, of course, in our office, I have experts in many parts of the world because they've been there. And so that also helps. It's having someone that has the background or knows the right people to take care of you when you're traveling, or knows what restaurant to go to, what hotel to go to, what tour operator to work with, and what to see.
Yeah.
There's La Familia, the church in Sagada La Familia in Barcelona. And I've seen churches all over the world. And this church continues to take my breath away. So
Wow.
to be able to tell someone about this, and it's a living, breathing thing.
Yeah.
They're still building it 127 years later. They're still trying to create that vision of Gaudi that he had. So the last time I was there 8 years ago, and I was just recently there, they didn't have the stained glass windows in.
Mm-hmm.
And now they do, and they have two more towers, and it was like a different experience. So to be able to tell someone about something like that and send them there to have that experience, it's what makes it special working with a travel professional. And then protecting you, which we're going to get in down the road, is talking about knowing about the right insurances to take, knowing what airlines, depending on where you're going, how to save money using consolidators for international air. Many of the tricks and the trade is, really important to know. And that's kind of value that we can put out there to the traveling public compared to them doing it themselves. And even the generation X and Ys and Zs and all the alphabet of generations and millennials are learning the value of working with a travel professional because they're used to doing it themselves.
Yeah.
Now they're seeing the value.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this. We had the pandemic. How massively did that hurt your industry? What was going through your mind? No, you never seen anything like this, I'm assuming. What?
I saw a week of it in 9/11
Okay. Okay.
when everything shut down travel wise.
Ugh.
And I thought, okay, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a week or two. When we get into a year or two, there was nothing I ever experienced like that. Imagine I had a business for 37 years. I wake up one day, I have no business. I actually was negative in 2020. People go, how
Wow.
can you be negative? I
Yeah.
go, well, people don't plan their travel tomorrow. I was giving back half of 2019. I had to unplanned trips. It's like owning a restaurant, and every meal you serve for the last 6 months, you have to take the meals back.
Mm-hmm.
You have to unprepare the food, put the raw ingredients on the shelf. give the money back to your clients, and then you can't talk about travel for the next 6 months to a year because people will be upset at you. That's the experience that it was like. And it was brutal. I got to be very honest. I was just in survival mode at first I was in denial. It's like 5 stages of a death. I was in denial, and then eventually I was depressed, and then it's just, I have to survive. And that's what we did. And I have all my people, except a few that retired with me. And I've added more people because we went from Phantom to Feast. I mean, it's the floodgates have opened. Revenge travel, we're back. And people you lock up Americans or people all over the world in their homes for a year and a half, 2 years. They realize how important travel is. And so that was the one benefit, is realizing how important travel is to everyone. So that's one of the things that came out of this.
Amazing. Well, glad that you're back and in full swing here. We still have a few minutes left on the show, David. What else did you want to discuss about the benefits of having a travel agent for today? I know it's our first show together of many, so excited to have you. I just want to make sure we're covering everything that that you want to today.
Well, just to know that also it's important to support sometimes locally, or even support people that are smaller companies or mid-sized companies like ourselves, mid-sized type company, because you're keeping people employed.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you do things yourself, you don't realize, you're do-it-yourselfers. You're actually sometimes not helping the economy. So it's important to support these professionals that are out there to help you, because without them, you're losing that knowledge, and you're losing that ability to have someone there on your side, an advocate for you. So I think it's important for people to realize how important it is to have that advocate, as I mentioned, while they're traveling. And go back to the thing we started talking about, is the deals. I belong to a group called Signature that has over 300 travel companies that are part of it. And it gives us buying power, and we have different group deals and different discounts and different benefits that you get at hotels, luxury hotels all over the world, for example. Cruise deals where you have a host. I'm hosting a cruise going out September 2nd, for example, going out of London to Paris to Netherlands, Estonia, Finland. Incredible journey through the Baltic. And to have someone there holding your hand when you travel is something that's unique to what we do at our group as well. So that's just a few more things, but we're going to be talking more. There's so many great things that are out there that we can help you with and make your travel experience that much better.
Yay! And to start working with someone like yourself, and you get started, how many people are part of the company? Is it, do you have a team of people that you're working with? Could you explain that process?
Yes, we have 23 travel professionals here.
Wow.
Yeah. So they cover pretty much, as I mentioned, over 600 years of travel destination knowledge. So when you call, there's going to be someone, first of all, live that answers the phone, which I always love these days. I hate recordings. And you're going to be matched up with someone that will be able to help you with what your desires and needs are for wherever you're going in the world. So we really have an amazing team of caring professionals that are going to make that experience. The funny part is, this is really another interesting thing.
Yeah.
Planning travel is actually better than traveling. It creates these endorphins and the stuff that kicks in your body that gets you so excited that the experience of planning travel is sometimes better than travel itself, in the aspect of it's a little nerve-wracking to travel, but planning it is outstanding. So to work with you and create that experience for you, where we create and make it so it's a better experience while you're traveling, is invaluable.
And wait, what if someone says, well, don't travel agents cost a lot of money?
No, that's actually they all, it's like, how much you cost? We are probably one of the least expensive costs for years. We were free, by the way. Okay. And it was a backwards business where we worked for our clients, but we were paid by our vendors. So that mostly has gone away with a lot of payment from the vendors. So we work for our clients like we always have. But the cost compared to other purchases that you have, where you think that, oh, I'm buying this jewelry. Well, the markup's 100%. Our markup in regards to what we charge is somewhere, this is scary numbers. Our average net is somewhere between 1% and 3%.
Yeah.
So we charge very little for the professionalism and the knowledge that we give out to our clients. It's a very inexpensive service that your time is worth more than we're charging for our time.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you again. So if we want to reach out, let's remind us one more time of the website, how we do so.
Right. So www.cadillactravel.com.
Mm-hmm.
Call us at 1-800-369-TRIP. That's 8747. Or you can email me at david@cadillactravel.com. You can reach us through Facebook at cadillactravel.com or David at Fishman or info@cadillactravel.
Perfect.
Many
And
ways to reach us.
got it. So we're also talking, individuals, personal travel, also corporate travel as well. You cater to, correct?
To groups, any type of travel that you have, honeymoons, destination weddings, groups, corporate, individual, FITs, which are exclusively planned to fit you type of vacations, cruises, you name it. I'm a cruise expert. I've been 65 cruises. So that's one of my niches, and I'm a ski expert. So I skied all over the world. So I love sharing my expertise.
Wow. See, good news to know. Thank you so much. All right. Well, pleasure having you again here, David Fishman, Cadillac Travel. Excited to have you here and really looking forward to speaking with you again. Are we on next week?
No, next week is 4th of July.
That's right.
So we have a week off next week.
Enjoy the holiday, and we'll
too.
see you then next week. Thank you so much. Are you doing anything fun for you traveling or no?
No, it's funny. In summertime in Michigan, sometimes I like to stay home. Plus, I traveled every single month this year, so I got to take a break.
Love
and
it.
I got a big schedule for the rest of the year. I got a safari in there and the Baltic. So,
are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.